Hey guys, how's it going and welcome to the top 5 stereotypes about Ireland and Irish people. So we're going to go over the top 5 stereotypes about Irish people and Ireland, and I'm going to add in one bonus one at the end as well. I hope you guys do enjoy. So let's get straight into the video. Stereotype is that the Irish food is boring and involves potatoes or is based around potatoes, and that is has a small bit of truth to it, just due to the fact that we're Irish. We like our potato. We always have potatoes with majority of stuff. Like for example, we'd say maybe in Asian countries, people would preferably have rice with a lot of stuff. That's kind of the same thing with potatoes and Irish people. We have potatoes with a lot of stuff, but that is not to say there is good chefs in Ireland and there is really good cooks in Ireland that can really put a meal together. So the stereotype is it's a small bit true. Yes, potatoes is kind of our basis to food, but at the end of the day, we can also most of us can cook more than just potatoes. And we some of us can cook good steaks. And in saying that, a lot of us can cook, but the stereotype is there's some truth to it, but it's not exactly true because we can do a lot more than just potatoes in our meals. The second stereotype about Ireland is that Irish people are drunks. Now, this one is again, it's kind of mixed between both. So basically, how Irish people drink is actually completely different to most of the world. Well, us in the UK are kind of the same. So, for example, how an Irish person would do it is there's a certain type of people. There is the person who would just, go out to the pub, have a few pints and whatever. There's people who would get dressed up and go out to a club or a pub, but drink while they get ready. So they already have a couple of pints and, they are semi drunk before they even come in, and then they have more drinks there. And the third type will be the exact same concepts. When they're getting ready, they would have drinks, and then they would go to maybe a house party where they have more drinks, and then they would go out to a pub after that and have more drinks. It's just we consume a lot of alcohol, a lot of alcohol, but a lot of surprisingly, most, I wouldn't say most. I would say there is a good portion of Irish people who don't drink, and even that, there is a good portion of Irish people who drink, but just to a certain extent, as in have a social drink. It is very common for us to go out 2, 3 nights a week for a social drink, um, but a lot of us are kind of calm. There is obviously, of course, in every country, there is obviously the people who do abuse it, but we just drink a lot. It's in our culture a lot, and it's not, for the most part, it's not doing too much harm to anyone. It is obviously doing a small bit of harm, but it's not doing much damage in our society because all of us drink. Now, the third one, which I absolutely do not agree with, is all Irish people have red hair. And this everyone that's not from Ireland thinks that, oh, every Irish person has red hair. We don't. There is probably, if I would guess, I would say maybe 1 in 30, 1 in 40, maybe 1 in 50 of Irish people have red hair. We don't all have red hair. It's completely not true. And if anyone has been in Ireland or has like had holidays in Ireland or even lives in Ireland knows that for a fact, just walking around. We are a pretty diverse country. I mean, I think Polish people is about maybe 5% of our whole population, and like our our diversity is only increasing, and like there's a lot of people coming here for work because there's a lot of opportunities in Ireland, and it's quite easy to start a life here. Obviously, there's a lot of difficulties with like actually getting citizenship and all that, but in terms of actually living here, or like in terms of actually being in Ireland, um and working, it's it's not that difficult, but actually, obviously, leaving your country to come to Ireland is difficult, and actually being a citizen here is a very difficult and expensive. But a lot of people come here because there is a lot of opportunities in Ireland. We have a great economy, we have great colleges. It's a huge opportunity for people coming over, and yeah, there's not much redheads anymore because our countries are so diverse. We've got so much different cultures, so much different people in our country. It's just we're not all redheads, and if anyone if anyone's living in Ireland or anyone's visited Ireland, they would know that because we are so diverse as a country right now, and we're only getting more diverse as the years go on. Now, the next one is Irish people are violent, and again, not exactly true. So Irish people were not violent. We're very friendly people. We're open and stuff, and in the sense that like we're greeting, we'll salute you, we'll say hi or something, whatever, and we'll be there and whatever. But if you provoke us, if you know annoy us, we're not going to take that lightly, and we're going to get aggressive. And if you keep getting aggressive and provoking us, then it's just what you expect to happen. So we're not violent. We're nice, general people. The majority of us are. Again, obviously, it depends where you're living, where you are, and it could be just the unlucky rotten egg you'll run into on the street. But like again, it's just like any other country. We don't mess with anyone as long as they don't have a problem with us, and that's literally it. We stay in our lane, but if someone makes a problem, then we make it our problem. So as long as everyone just stays where they are, we have no issues with anyone. There's no problems with anyone as long as they don't have a problem with us. And that's basically what we are. We're not violent. We don't start stuff for no reason. Just if you provoke us, we will obviously retaliate because it's just human nature. Anyone would. Now the next one is the Irish are extremely religious. Now the Irish were not that religious. Before we were extremely religious. The Catholic Church was basically our government. Everything had to be done by the Catholic Church. Everything had to be certified. Everything run the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church run the schools. They run everything. Absolutely everything was run by the Catholic Church, and they are. There has been some questionable decisions over the years, but I'm not going to get into that. But again, as time goes on, we get more diverse, more people, more different cultures, different backgrounds, different ethnicities, different everything, all coming into Ireland. Kind of, um, kind of, just burst into Ireland, and we're not that much into the Catholic Church anymore. But we are obviously still extremely religious, but we're not so religious that the Catholic Church is our go-to place. Like it doesn't run the schools, it doesn't run. It basically doesn't isn't our government. Um, because we're just gone past that. We're religious, but again, we're not extremely religious. If you said that 100 years ago, I would 100% agree with these statements. But it's just not the case anymore in the 21st century because it's just the diversity and just all the stuff that has happened with the Catholic Church doing all these kind of things over the years that it's just kind of gone out of power a bit. But our country is still extremely, extremely religious. And I'm just going to add in one bonus one. I know it's meant to be a top five, but I'm going to add in one bonus one, and that is that Irish people don't speak English. Now, I have never heard. I'm just looking this up online. I've never heard of anyone say that we don't speak English. We clearly do. Just a quick history lesson. We've been under England's control for the last, I don't know, 500-600 years, ever since people have been on this island, basically. And back in the 1920s, we were kind of starting to push out to get our independence, and then around 1930, 1940, we got our own parliament, and then we started our own government, and now we're in our independent country for the odd 60, 70 years now. But before that, the English said, look, you're not allowed to speak Irish, and literally got rid of our language and told us, look, you're speaking English, you have to speak English, we're under your control, you speak English, you don't speak Irish. And then we'd actually get punished for speaking Irish. So the Irish language is dying, and it's extremely dying now. For example, in our school system, Irish was compulsory to do in school, and now there's been talks of them making an option. So when you go into your final exams or your leaving cert, you have the option to do Irish or not to do Irish, and it's just becoming a dying language. And English is our main language. Our Irish isn't our main language. There is certain parts of the country that only speak Irish, and if you go to that place, you will find no one that speaks English there. But other than that, that's a very small portion. That's only a little tiny place. It's not any bit of the population at all. It's a little small town, but other than that, we are 100% an English speaking country, and it's just how we have. It's just ever since we got our independence, we never got back to speaking Irish because we've been speaking English for 400 or 500 years, and it's just speaking Irish then trying to get a transition back in for the whole population to speak Irish. It wasn't going to work. So we speak English now because of Britain, and it has turned out to be probably the only good thing that's happened from England conquering us, because as it turns out, English is the most common speaking language, and it's much helpful that we can speak English as our first language, and it gives us a huge advantage. So guys, that's going to end today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy it.